Okay, so here's your quick tutorial on how to make a bow so that you stop paying ridiculous prices for it. What you're going to need is your ribbon, some floral wire, which looks like this green stuff that you can buy in the flower department of any craft store, and some scissors. So, what we start with, I'm going to put my ribbon down there. You start with this end of the ribbon, and what you're going to do is you're going to make what's called a belly button. There's some belly button bows, some not belly button bows. You're going to make a little curl like this and stick your thumb inside there. Now on the back of that, what I typically do is hold it with these two fingers and I alternate which one I do. So in the back, what you're going to do, since this is the wrong side of the fabric, and this is obviously the sparkle side, I'm going to give it a really tight twist and hold right on that twist like that. Even if your fabric doesn't have a wrong side, you still want to do this because this is what shapes your bow and makes it look like a professional one versus a non-professional one. And then all you're going to do is you're going to keep looping, and see I'm holding it with this finger so that I keep it tight against that twist, and then I twist it as tight as I can again, and then put my finger on top of that twist. Every time I make a loop, I make a twist. So I keep going, and I keep these two the same size. This is your belly button in the middle. These two are your ears on either side. You keep going and twisting. Now the next row, I'm going to go either down or up. So I'm going to twist it and make sure that it's seated in the right spot. Go just slightly bigger with each one. Use one finger to hold this down and your other hand to wrench and twist it. And then keep moving through your bow. The one thing that you need to really remember about bows is to always do it in odd numbers. That's what looks the best. So however many loops you have outside of your belly button needs to be odd numbers. Depending on the thickness of your bow and how the thickness of your ribbon and how big you need your bow, usually I do 3 or 5, if that gives you any estimate. Now, I did these 2 rows are going this way, so the next row I'm going to try to get going the opposite way. So there's 2 more rows. Keep twisting. And actually I'm going to lie to you because this all together is going to have 1, 2, 3, and then I'm going to do a 4th one right down here for size. You can kind of eyeball it. Two more. This one's going to be your, I call it kind of the anchor to give you a sense of center about your bow. I think that looks really good on a Christmas tree. Okay, when you get to the end, you're still going to do your twist just like what we've been doing. And then what I do is I make a big loop at the bottom and I put it to where I have both of the right sides coming out like this. So this sparkly side is in front and this sparkly side is in front. I go ahead and tuck it in just like normal. Give it one more twist, just like that's a regular loop. And then what I have is the jaw-dropping 3, 1, 2, 3 loops hanging down. You're going to find your floral wire and you're going to loop it right through the belly button, right over the top of your thumb. Careful not to stab your thumb. So that it goes right through that belly button. Scoot your thumb right on top of it very carefully without losing all of your folds so that it looks like this. You're holding it down with your thumb. This is sticking out either side. You're going to pull this right through all these loops and then right on this side of your hand, pull this down, same way. This is what's going to tie your bow together. Once you get both of these sides at the bottom here, this is the part where muscles or a strong man in the room is handy. You're going to pull it as tight as you can and give it a really firm twist. That's going to give your bow life. You can always then go in and re-foof out these little loops if they got kind of smashed while you were making it. Now, you have a bow with this wire on the edge that you can then wire to your tree, and all you're going to have to do, find the middle, cut that, and cut that off, and you have 3 of these. Now when you cut the edges of these, some people like to go at an angle. Professionally, florists usually try to do a dovetail, which is just a simple triangle out of the bottom. Be very careful not to cut the edges of these wires if you have wired ribbon, which always looks best in these bows. If you have wired ribbon, be careful not to cut this wire part because that'll leave a tiny bit of wire which will then fall into your carpet and end up in your toe. It is very uncomfortable. So you cut all of those 3, and then once you have all 3 of those cut, you're going to wire it onto your tree like so. Let me know if you have any questions.